Today we're going to be working with triangles and angles, and there's going to be some vocabulary that goes along with that. The first is a vertex, and you may remember from past years that a vertex is the place where two lines meet. So here's a line, that vertex right there is where these two lines meet. Now, when two lines meet, they form an angle. Okay, so this and this right here, this amount right here is an angle. And we measure angle in something called degrees. And then we have sides of a triangle. There's one side, two, and three sides. Now there are four types of angles. Okay, and again, some of this is probably review. We have a right angle. In a right angle, it's what we call 90 degrees. It makes a perfect square corner. Anything that is less than 90 degrees, we call an acute angle. Anything that is greater than 90 degrees is called an obtuse angle. So just like this, 90 degrees would be about right here. That's greater than 90 degrees. And then here we have an example of a straight angle. So here's our vertex. There's one line, there's the other line. That's going to be 180 degrees from there to there. Today we're going to be classifying triangles one of two ways, either by their angles or by their sides. If we have a triangle where all three angles are acute angles, we call that an acute triangle. If a triangle has one obtuse angle, like this one right here, it's greater than 90 degrees, we call that an obtuse triangle. And if you have a triangle with a right angle in it, like this, perfect square corner, we call that a right triangle. We can also classify triangles by their sides. So I'm going to start here. If we have three sides of a triangle and all the sides are congruent, okay, congruent means they're all the same length, like in this one, we call that an equilateral triangle. We see the word equal in there. If we have two sides that are equal, we're going to call that an isosceles triangle. Okay, a good way to try to remember that is there's two S's in there, two E's in there, and those twos maybe can help you remember two sides are the same. When we have no sides that are the same, or no congruent sides, we call that a scalene triangle. Today we're going to be working with the angles of a triangle. So, one of the things that's really important for us to know is that the sum of all the angles in a triangle, so when we add up all three angles of a triangle, their sum is always going to be 180 degrees. So a way to look at that is if you take angle X, angle Y, and angle Z in this triangle, those sums are going to equal 180 degrees. So we can use that knowledge to help us to figure out what the angle of a triangle is when we have two known angles. So in this case, we have 54 degrees right here. This angle is 54 degrees, and this is 89 degrees. Now, in reality, I just made up these numbers. These angles, we can tell, are very close to each other. But just so that you can see, I want you to just imagine this is an 89 degree angle. And also, that's a degree sign. I couldn't figure out a way to get the degree sign, but that is, even though it looks like a zero, it's a degree sign. So to set this up, I'm going to write my equation out. So I have my angle 1, angle 2 plus P has got to equal 180. So when I add these two, I get 143. I'm going to continue writing out the equation. Plus P equals 180 degrees. Now I need to subtract 143, because that's the opposite of this, and I want to get P by itself. So I've got to do the same thing over here. So when I do that now, I get 180 minus 43 equals 37, and I want to have my degrees. So this angle right here would be 37 degrees, because all three angles would equal 180 degrees.